I had the opportunity to visit the Casada Garden today, a lush flowery oasis that has transformed this Bayview neighborhood. It's hard to believe that these gorgeous flowers are thriving on what used to be a garbage-filled median. This bountiful oasis began with the work of just 2 pairs of hands.
We started doing a little patch of flower over by her house, and it went on from there. We went to the garden and started making little beds, of flowers. Then we started cleaning up whole areas of flowers, and this is how all this come about.
Neighbors Carl Page and Annette Smith planted the first seeds on the strip 5 years ago, after tiring of seeing garbage and waste pile up outside their windows. Soon after, many others on the street jumped on board.
Other families came out and started planting plants in front of their houses, and we all would work together. Each person came out to make a plot. We would help them, Carl and I. And after so long, we had quite a few people working, because in the beginning we had about 14 different families. After that, Carl and I basically would go into vacant spaces and add more flowers, more plants, that type thing.
Jeffrey Betcher is a Casada resident, adding to the collection. But to him, the garden is more than just beauty. It's a safe haven for Bayview residents, who all too often see far fewer images of tranquility.
I think that the garden gave us a safe space to come out and talk. It broke the isolation that we felt and the fear, frankly, that we felt, because before this garden and before the community garden initiative, this block was pretty bleak, frankly. So we had a safe place to talk, and one of the things we talked about was all the work that we needed to do and the organizing that would help us get to where we wanted to go. So I think that was the primary usefulness of the garden. In terms of the beauty, I mean, we live with this amazing beauty day to day, and it enriches all of our lives, I think, in all sorts of ways.
The local support for the flourishing garden has attracted the eye of the city. The garden has received numerous grants to help fund the project, as well as awards for their grassroots efforts, including the Clean and Green Award, recognizing those working to help beautify the city.
Well, all these things start very small. The thing that's so important about it is that people can go there. That's a neighborhood that has a lot of asphalt, a lot of pavement. It can be very gray and bleak. And suddenly you turn the corner from 3rd Street and you see that little garden, and it's an oasis of green. And so what we like about it is that we've already had, 5 or 6 people from around the neighborhood contact us to say, well, how can I do that? How can I do something like that? So it creates this model for the rest of the neighborhood where people can say, hey, yeah, Annette and Carl, they're 2 people, right? Well, we're 2 people on our block. Why shouldn't we be able to do the same kind of thing? That's what we really see as special about what they're doing.
Casada is a model for other possible green spots in the city. Colleen Flynn of the Neighborhood Parks Council sees the garden as proof of this potential.
It's overwhelmed with inspiration on what a community could do. It was just 2 people that started and had this idea of this place isn't safe, it's used for trash, and just getting started by cleaning it up, getting more neighbors involved, and it growing into something that now has completely transformed that neighborhood and made it a safe, green oasis in a beautiful spot for people to be. And we want to see this happen in other neighborhoods, and for people to realize that we know that getting started can be really frustrating and you're not sure how to start, but that is actually a really easy process. And what the Neighborhood Parks Council does is, if you want some technical assistance and be able to link different groups together and navigate through the city, that we're able to provide those services to interested citizens.
The Council has worked with Casada and supports the plans in the works for the space, including a new irrigation system and transforming this empty wall into a colorful mural with the help of local children. All the more for the neighbors to enjoy.
The garden has become what it is and blossomed, if you will, into, I guess one would say, a beautiful oasis. Like, I've heard that term be used, so I'll use it now. It's been tremendous. People go and they congregate as they're doing now.
Never in my life have I lived somewhere where I've known every neighbor on the block. And this is a place where you can do that, where everyone knows one another and works together and talks and helps one another, and also works for the betterment of the neighborhood.
Having it here is some place where I can come and sit out in the garden and I can read, I can listen to my music. It means quite a bit to me.
and it can mean something to you. Casada Street urges you to come by, enjoy the blooms, and relish in their slice of heaven.